It turns into an adult beetle.
An adult peacock?
Beetle.
How did you hear that?
Hello, welcome to the Woodturning podcast. My name's Mark.
And my name is Will. Welcome.
And I am Gary. How you doing?
In this episode, Gary has Woodworm, William keeps spending money, and Mark's done nothing. What we all been up to then? I hadn't done any wood turning, so I'll let you guys go first.
I turned an Oak Burl, which is my first one I'd done. So I've had it around for ages. I put a video up on YouTube and that actually. I picked it up when I went to someone who was closing down their workshop. One of those things when you sort of get a little spark and you think, oh, I wonder what I'm going to find there. This particular guy was getting rid of everything as per, and he had a lovely... It's almost like a massive stables full of all this wood, and he had it all laid out. It was like literally in a sweet shop. I can't. And he literally, it was like Santa, because he had these brown Hessian sacks that he said, oh, you can just put it all in there. So you literally come out of it over your shoulder, Santa, with all this wood. And he had put that Burl's in there, and he goes, I've had that for ages. He goes, I knew you'd see that. Anyway, so I turned that, and it was a little bit dicey at times because obviously it wasn't very mega stable because of not so much cracks, but channels through it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I had it on a tenon, and at times that was starting to get a bit weak. So I took it off at one point, tried to strengthen it up, and then put it back on. But then in the end, I got it turned round. So anyway, so it all come out all right in the end. I was quite pleased with it. I didn't go really thin because it was sort of getting a bit wobbly. So I thought I don't want to push it too far. Anyway, so I brought it in. The missus liked it. She's rare. So she's like, oh, that's actually quite nice. We'll have that out here. So she had it on the little console table, probably only about 2 days. She goes to me, oh, I think you can have that back. What are you talking about? She goes, little piles of dust underneath it. And I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah. I was going, all right, whatever. I went, all right, no problem. Anyway, so I brought it down here, my sort of study, and I've got a dark brown leather ottoman thing, all my envelopes and stuff in it. So I just put it on there, and literally in a couple of days, it literally little piles of sawdust dotted around it.
No way.
It's mad. And I was
Did you catch it?
What I haven't done yet, the little fella. And it's like, some days he obviously goes to sleep for whatever, 48 hours, I reckon, because nothing. And you think, okay. And then a couple of, maybe at the weekend, if I haven't come in here at the weekend and I haven't really looked and noticed, like this morning, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you. I can see there's 5 piles of sawdust, each probably about 10 mil in diameter.
Hasn't got woodworm in it, is it?
Well, that's what he's got. He's got a little grub in there. Got a grub in there.
They actually, those little piles of sawdust actually look like little pyramids. Yeah. Right. I was thinking, no, really? You know, you're going paranoid. So then I cleared it, wiped all the thing down completely, repositioned it, left it a few days, looked at it, and little piles. I'm thinking, no way. So I ordered some woodworm sort of stuff, and he sort of quickly whacked it all on, like right around with a sort of like paper towel actually the other day. And I thought, oh, no, that's not done it properly because that hasn't gone in the holes very well because obviously it's a bowl shape. I did notice, and I thought, oh, nothing's coming out of it. Maybe it has done something. And then, like I say, I come in this morning, and like these massive piles. So I was on a call today with work, and I'm like, just got this brush, and I'm just poking the woodworm stuff in all the holes, thinking, come on. So turned it over now. So I have to keep an eye on it essentially. But it's mad how much they knock out of it. I was thinking, if I just leave it there, it will literally end up as one big pile of sawdust. There won't be no bowl left. Just my
microwave it.
I was going to say, could you microwave it? Yeah.
I've got that metal thing in the bottom, so it's probably not advisable. Forgot about that. Whack that in. I don't know if I've blown the wood foam,
you could,
but I've blown the microwave to pieces.
You could heat in the oven, 50 degrees in the oven for an hour.
Well,
that's blurry.
This is rustings. It's like killer. So at the end of the day, it was like, it weren't a lot, and I thought, blast, give it a couple of that, see what happens, and then go from there, really. But yeah, that's why it wasn't as heavy as your one before, Mark.
Because half of it's already been eaten.
And it's hard to tell when you look at it, because all the little sort of channels that are there when you've half turned it.
Yeah.
It's hard to see which ones are actual holes that are going deep and which are those, and it's like you don't really know. So that's why I need to sort of literally keep it where it is, so I can see. There's the little piles of sawdust. So that going up, that must be that hole there.
You got a shop vac, nice powerful vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Hoover all the channels out.
But how many times would I have blasted it with a bloody thing off the compressor? Yeah. I've done that loads when I was doing it. little fellas are in there. I'd love what intrigues me is like how many is it? Is it just one really hard working bugger who's just running around everywhere in there, or is there about 10 of them working as a team? And how did they all survive the compressor blast
and the chisel? Just doesn't take slice the head off, does it? Blimey. You see that occasionally on Instagram and Facebook, don't you, where a guy's nicked one while he's turning. I've never had one.
No,
I've had
really
trails all quite regularly, but I've never found a grub for Timon to eat.
The other thing I thought as well is that Burl, I must have had it for over a year, and that's just been lumped in with all my other stuff. So in a way, I was thinking, well, I've not gone through everything, obviously, but I reckon they're just uncomfortable in that Burl, right? And they was in there for I don't know how long, and they don't really want to move out. So otherwise, like everything else is going to just fall apart. My shelves and all that, they just collapse one day. Like, what?
In your new workshop?
Yeah, exactly. I'll go in there one day and it'll all be on the floor.
Half a door's missing or something. Where's that gone? I'm fairly sure I had a door there the other day.
It'd just be some double glazed windows in a parlour on the floor in sawdust.
Makes you wonder what it's going to turn into. It's going to turn into something, isn't it?
Well, yeah, like those sci-fi films, it's going to be a maggot the size of the house or a woodworm the size of the house.
Well, no, all grubs and maggots at the larvae stage, aren't they? They all turn into something.
Yeah.
Woodworm turn into something?
Yeah, it must do. I do.
Wood butterfly?
A wood moth.
Once it turns into a butterfly, you can kill it and cast it.
Yeah. Nothing like a bit of reuse.
It turns into an adult beetle.
An adult peacock?
Beetle.
How did you hear that?
Well, you know you're getting on a bit, mate, but you're not going that deaf yet. No, it turns into a beetle.
Yeah, I was looking.
Oh.
But you think, what does that beetle do? Eat more of the wood?
Well, it finds another female beetle and has its way and then lays some more in the channels.
It's weird. I mean, those pictures, because those holes are tiny. They're like than a mil in diameter.
But your ones?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the beetle eats its way through the final layer of wood, creating an exit hole. Then they mate, and then the female beetles lay eggs in a new location.
Well, I hope you get them.
Yeah, I was tempted to set up a time-lapse little video like my phone next to it on a tripod and poke their head out at some point. Just to sort of like stick two fingers up at me. Where is he? He's not here. Let's go back in. They're just playing with me.
I'm sure the grandkids would love to see that as well. If this little grub just wiggles its way out the bottom, says hello, and then disappears back in a new hole or something.
So that's the fun I've been having with my Burl. It's keeping on giving at the moment. I thought I'd done it and literally put it on the shelf. But now I can't put it on the shelf in case they burrow into the shelf. So I've got it on a brown bit of leather.
Yeah.
I'll be doing.
Cool. Quality, that really is good. What you been up to, Will?
I've got some stuff. Been really cold recently, and so
poor love.
Workshop time has been cut in half the last couple of weekends. In all fairness, Saturday was quite nice. I quite enjoyed that. It was cold, but there was no wind. Sunday, I only lasted about 3/4 of an hour, and I was just frozen to the bloody core. Wind's coming straight in. It's probably miserable. Anyway, I do have a couple of bits. I've got it up now. I'm trying to find a catchy title, but it's kind of, you can see this now, can't you? So
Lovely, yeah.
Just a round form bowl with some clear resin in it. And you can't really see it, but it's actually quite sparkly.
What's the wood? Is that ash?
No, that is C.
Sycamore?
Yeah. No.
Is that written in the grain?
No, it was written on the blank that I turned it from. It's not. Well, it's not.
Cheech.
I did know what it was because I wrote it down the other day.
Cherry.
And it started with SC.
I thought that was his initial.
Although it is light like sycamore.
Got a lovely shine on it.
But sycamore doesn't really have a...
No, it's not sapele.
No.
Scab. Scab of fish.
What finish you got on that wood there, Will? Oh, it's
lacquered, yeah.
on the inside as well.
Inside and out. So that's that. I'm turning the segmented thing at the moment.
How are you?
Yeah, and I glued the top on yesterday. Actually, I glued that on Saturday. I was coming out the garage. I was like, wicked. We'll have a good day tomorrow. And I was just getting the bit that I glued on the round and ping, hit the ceiling and like the top of it kind of shattered. So I've had to back together again. So there's quite a delay on that one. And what I did find was that turning 3D printer filament is actually quite tough to turn.
Is it?
Melts.
Yeah, it does melt. It's horrible. It's not nice.
It's not great stuff, is it?
No, it doesn't turn very nice at all. I thought, just assumed it would, I must admit, but it kind of like it's going through with a blunt tool. But wears, doesn't really cut.
No, and
Go on.
too soft. It's just very, very soft. It's soft plastic in it, unless you use a different filament.
So I was quite surprised. So slight delay on that one now. What else have I got on? Been buying some stuff. Got
Or projects or tools.
no. So I've been on about. I think I said it on the last one, but I was after one of the M33 tailstock holders.
You asked me to ask Simon when I was at his place about it.
I found one online, so it was only like 25 quid, and I thought, sounds a bit dodgy. This thing is wicked. Well worth 25 quid. In fact, I wish I'd have bought one. In fact, I can't believe I haven't bought one, because I've already used it like half a dozen times already, you know.
What I'm trying to picture in my head, I can't see what it is. An M33 tailstock.
So it's a tailstock. So it's 2 Morse taper, and then on the end it's got a bearing, and on the end of the bearing it's got an M33 thread.
Oh, right.
So you can screw effectively your chuck to it,
Right.
and then have it spinning in the tailstock. That's just handy for converting glue blocks from one to the other and whatever.
Gotcha.
And so that's good. And while I was there, I bought an extension for the tailstock as well, because I thought I was going to need that. I haven't actually used it yet, but I've got it now.
When you say an extension, what you mean for drill, for Foster?
No, just so like I can. So what I want to do is I want to put support down on the bottom of a vase, especially now I'm 3D printing them, so they're hollow to start with, if you see what I mean. So I want to reach down there to the bottom of the vase so I can put my tailstock against it.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're going
inside.
So I'm
To the
going
bottom.
down like 150, 200 mil.
So you're going that route rather than turning, because as you've got the M33 threaded Morse taper, you could perhaps either 3D print a cone that screws onto the end of that.
Yeah. I actually one the other day with a bit of old scrap I had.
And well, you could keep it in the chuck. If you've got the spare chuck. Almost like putting a tennis ball in the end, but it's a softwood bit of pine or pallet knobble or something.
Yes.
You have to make that longer though, wouldn't you? Because you're trying to get into the bottom of a vase.
No.
Thing, right?
If he was to do that, he could make it big enough so it fits into the opening of the vase rather than deep inside.
Up in the vase, yeah.
Oh, right.
That is how I put the lid on that other thing, in all fairness. Well, that's how I centered that 3D printed thing. And I bought some more lights. And this is the last batch of lights I'm buying, but these were quite expensive. So I bought a couple of. I've got lights everywhere. The backlight I have with bloody light in the garage. So,
Right.
So he can see what he's doing, but he still freezes his nuts off out there. So he doesn't want insulation or heating. He just wants to see that he's cold.
I actually contacted a lighting company. And
you're hoping for a sponsored video going on. Is that what you're?
No, actually, I never thought about that. No, I didn't. And they were based in Ipswich. The guy replied back and he said, no, that's not really what we do. No worries. So I started having a look today, and I've seen on, I don't know whether you follow Ben's works, but a little while ago before Christmas, he was putting up these massive LED panels in his ceiling, and they're like absolutely massive, metre by 2 metres, and I've got to try and buy one of those, but I couldn't find one anywhere. So anyway, I kept going for a bit longer, and I found on Amazon a company called Great Video Maker.
Right.
And they have a store there, and I bought some LED panels, but they're just standalone ones, but they're quite big. They all sync up and what have you. So if you adjust one, it'll adjust them all, and you can set it up. It should be 10 times easier than it is at the moment, because that's the problem I have, that every time I change the camera or the angle, then I spend 10 minutes messing about with lighting just to get the lighting levels right. And it's still like a hit and miss. So they turn up tomorrow, so I'm quite excited to get those.
I keep looking at the big ceiling hexagon panels. You've seen them?
Yes, I saw them earlier.
Massive
hexagonal. So they do round ones and they do hex ones, but I just need even light everywhere.
I actually, a while ago, I bought from Axminster. They call it a LED strip light thing. But it's obviously on a flexible arm and all, as in the old bendy one and whatever. And it's pretty good. It's about just over a ton. But it really done the job, and it's got a dial-up thing so you can change the brightness on it and whatever.
Oh, really?
And then you buy the magnet base thing for it, so it's proper solid. So I'd been using that, and it was like absolute nuts. I was so chuffed with it. And then I think it just literally just packed in, just nothing. And I was thinking, what? The fuse must have gone, or my plug, just literally just packed in, right? So I probably had it 3 months, something like that. And they're really good, Axminster. So I phoned them up, and the guy was going, normally I'd just sort of say, we'll send you another one out, but it's saying that we haven't got any, and we're probably not going to get any, and probably till about March.
Oh, really?
No. And then he went, I'll try and find out. It was in between Christmas and New Year, I think, actually, because he said I'll wait till the full team are back to see if there's any parts that they can actually replace and send it to me to actually swap out on it. And then after Christmas, I just saw an email saying, "Thank you for your order." I thought, what? And when I looked, it was one of these lights.
Oh, cool.
And I thought, that's a bit random. And then I phoned him up about something else. And weirdly, the same guy picked the phone up, right? And I was talking to him, and I said to him, "Oh, I saw the order for the light." And he said, "I phoned around and I found we had one in stock in one of our stores somewhere else. So I basically got them to send that one back to us so I can send it out to you." So I got it the other day, actually. It is really good. Like, obviously, I don't need massive panels or anything like that, but just to shed that light over the top, and I can sort of come around that way or around the other side or whatever it does.
But lights is just a constant battle to the point where I need to move the lathe because I've got it right on the side of the garage by the door. If the door's open, it's bright outside, then it's too bright. I can't match the rest of it. If it's dull, then the rest of it overtakes it. It's just a bloody headache. Yeah. And the other thing I'm going to buy is a new compressor because the compressor's leaking and it's forever going off in between a shot.
Annoying. And that is way too quick. You're going off again there, aren't you? You're thinking, what is going on? I always think that. I get like paranoid about it.
So do you keep the compressor active then? And well,
I just keep it
because I just shut the valve and turn the compressor back off once it's up to pressure.
No, don't. No, I actually use quite a lot of compressed air, to be honest.
You're going to get a silent one.
That's what I was going to say. So if you know of any, I don't have a very big workshop, so it's got to be small. So my only spec is it needs to be small. It needs to be silent.
Yeah. The geezer, he had a silent one.
Who?
And, the geezer, when I bought my lathe at Christmas, he was getting everything in his workshop. He had a silent compressor in there. And I didn't even know they existed, to be honest. I'd never even thought about it. And I went silent, and he went, because he's Garry. It was almost like his workshop was in his garage, which is embedded in his house. So it's almost like these misses would be sitting there rattling. So I presume they're more, are they? A lot more expensive?
You would have thought so, I must admit. It must really wind the neighbours up because he's going constantly over the weekend every couple of minutes or so. I use quite a lot of air because I'm forever tidying up for the next shot.
Oh, right. When you're sort of just switched off and forget it, and then you're near it, and a thing goes, makes you jump out your skin.
Yeah, it does.
Just like not thinking about it.
Mine will no longer get to pressure. It kicks the emergency release valve.
Oh, really?
So it will be... That does scare the life out of me when I'm just getting it up to pressure and then it suddenly goes, oh, Christ, thanks for that. So I just get it up to pressure, turn the compressor off, shut the valve.
I've had the pressure relief valve go on the pressure pot a few times, and that makes you wake up quick.
That makes a strange noise as well, doesn't it? But it's not a whooshing noise.
No,
mine's a strange noise anyway. I think I need a new seal on mine. Because it doesn't, I think I've got some resin on it. It doesn't quite seal properly at the moment. There's a.
Well, you can always just glue down the pressure relief valve.
No, this is the big seal around the edge of the lid.
Oh, really?
Oh, right.
I wouldn't mess with the pressure release valve. I mean, we have that at 70 psi, don't we? Shouldn't be messing with that.
I'll go 60.
When you're hitting those levels, the difference between 60 and 70 psi is not.
I was going to say to you, well, when you said just now about about turning the 3D printing stuff and it's hard, right? So I recently, I was doing that. You know that I was going to put that little Lego Millennium Falcon in resin and that burl.
Yeah.
I've done it now. I finished it yesterday actually. But when I was using the tape around the bottom of it and used hot glue, right, to do it all on. And I'd done the first pass on it and whatever. And I'd done 2 pours in that, but I needed to do 1 more pour because old like Han Solo's bonce was just sticking out the top by about 5 mil annoyingly, right? So I needed to do a 3rd pour, and the acetate wasn't high enough. So I part turned it because I'd made it all wavy edged, right? So to try and reduce the amount of resin I need to use. So I whacked it on the lathe, part turned it, got it back round, and I thought, right, now I'll put a new sort of bit of acetate around halfway up. So hot glued it again, job done. But so it all went off fine, and obviously the hot glue's gone off. But is there a way? Do you do anything other than turn the hot glue away? Because it just obviously once you're turning it, it heats up and it just goes like gunk. And I thought I keep forgetting to ask you whether you get rid of your hot glue.
So that's fairly easy. So I have a dedicated 1/4-inch spindle gouge. And that's what I dig the hot belt out with before I do it. So I get rid of all that first, and then I start.
Oh dear. So it does go gunky and shit for you.
It does. So I've got a
So
dead shit gouge that I never, because I never ever use a 4-inch spindle gouge because they're tiny, aren't they? So that is me hot melt.
Just don't do small enough projects. That's your problem there. You do smaller projects, you need a 1/4-inch spindle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only does it sort of gunk up your tool, whatever, but then when you're sort of going along, you're then just spreading it out over a wider area, and then it's like, well, when you stop it, it's starting to cool down again. So you think, oh, quick, try and pick this lot off, this lot round, and then oh no, back on it again. And I don't know how much time I bloody wasted just trying to get that off before I could actually start turning.
And the other thing I'll do, if it's like a seam that goes along, then I'll just pick it out with a chisel.
I did think that actually it's almost like I could have tried sort of like, forcing it off, just go really careful and not end up with like in a 5mm gouge. So you've got to the whole diamond down by that time, by that much. And you think, oh no.
You get a heat gun on an old chisel.
I've got a heat gun, and I think it's still gunks it up, and you still got to scrape it off. It's just lesser of two evils, really.
I think it's probably easy just to get a gouge on it.
Ultimately, if you could just chip it off while it's rock hard, that would be the easiest and less messy. But like I say, you're then risking cutting into your actual project or whatever. But, all right, well, maybe I'll do that then next time. So I done my Star Wars thing, and
how'd it go?
Yeah, it was all right, but I've learned, because I've done it in multiple pours. Like I said, when I've done the first pour, so it's probably about 100 mil deep. And that was just to sort of like get up to the base of the Millennium Falcon, sort of like suspended that in wire, so that then they just take the resin up to the bottom of that, so it's going to hold it, and then on the next pour take the wire off so it's stable, right? What I didn't do was cover it when I'd left it for the 2 or 3 days, because I didn't put it in a pressure pot because it was too cold down there. So I'd done it up here indoors. So I just had it on the side, and obviously the best will in the world, there's the finest bits of dust or whatever could have gone in there. And not only even after the 3 days before I do my second pour, I can blow it. It's all bloody gone into the surface, right? And gone hard in it. So you can see that sort of that level when you hold it quite easily. Actually, you can just see there's another level.
I take it you couldn't get down in there with a bit of abrasive paper and just sand the top off, hoover that out, and then put the next layer in?
Not really, because of the bloody Millennium.
I don't know its diameter or how big or anything any of it is. But
no.
So did you let the resin cure then in between layers, or must
it was about 2 or 3 days? Yeah, you normally put yours on before it's fully gone off.
I think it's like 15 hours.
This is that I've got that mold resin deep pour, which is 72 hours curing time, I think it is. But I did think about doing that before it gone off. But I reckon even then that would have still had that dust or whatever.
Yeah, I would have done.
It would have still sat on that. And funny enough, that when I'd done the last sort of 10 mil or whatever for his bonds, I did do what you said, Mark. I did like that diameter abrasive, and you can't really see that second level, that join. What I did do is I put a sheet of paper over the top of that for that, so it's almost like it might have been a combination of the two or whatever it was, but you can't see that third layer on it. So it's just a little bit annoying, but yes, it's come out all right.
So how big is it? And is it just like a...
It's probably not far off the size of this box of Haribo. It's
right.
A chunky old piece, because I'd put a burl around the bottom to act like a bit of a planet, and then the thing was offset. It's probably a bit wider than that diameter. But the mad thing is because of the way the resin distorts it when you look at it from certain angles, because his head's quite close to the top. When you're looking through the side, you almost can't see his head unless you sort of like put your eyes down low. You almost need a sort of, I don't know, 30 mil above the final surface to be able to see it right through. It looks cool from the back because he's almost got his little tail lights and whatever, and you can see from behind.
How have you shaped it? No, you said it's nearly finished. Yeah,
it's finished. I haven't got it in here. It's out there. I shaped it roughly. It's not far off the shape of this Haribo, which it's pretty much. It went up, and then I just tried to dome the top a little bit. So I just come sort of down a little bit like that, and then sort of pretty straight, because the other thing was the back of the Falcon, I reckon's probably 5 mil from the edge. So I was thinking, and part of me was thinking, do you know what? It might look quite cool if I just take that end of that off and it's just literally sort of like as if it's breaking through. I was thinking, I'll go down as far as I want to. If I go through it, I'm not that bothered. But when I sort of it got completely round without going through it, I thought, no, sod it, I won't. But I might do that on one of the others because I've got a batch of those little Lego, whatever micro fighters are called. And I think I might put one through and go straight to almost take half of it away just to see if it looked pretty cool.
That's why Han Solo's sitting in the top of it.
It's not a proper one. No. Look, got things like this. Look.
I love the way the filter blurred out the logo there. That was James has got a load of them on the ceiling, on his bedroom ceiling.
Imagine putting that and then actually taking half of it away when you turn it. So it's deconstructed microfighter. Take the middle out.
So like it's crashed.
So it's a bit of a practice and on the polishing side of things as well to see how I got with that.
It'll take you a while.
I went up to 10,000 and I literally went through up to normal 400, 600, and then I started using the wet stuff going through. I got one of the kits I bought from one of the resin places. They gave you all the different gradients and all different bits and bobs, and so I was using that obviously with I know you use. I use soapy water. You use methylated spirits, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sand yours, didn't you? But you weren't too bad. And then the Mazzana polishes at the end. Took a while. Was right.
Look, did you film it? Is it a video?
It will be.
Cool. Yeah. Look forward to that one.
Me too.
See if it gets pulled down for copyright.
Shouldn't do.
What, from an image? Well, it's not even an image. They'll do well to determine that's what that is in all that resin. I thought about another one of the other ones I'm going to do. It's where I've done that one sort of like it was a mulberry bit of timber I used, and so because I've done that, and then I filled in the gaps with gold as if it was on the sand.
Hang on,
like, over the
sweet chestnut.
Oh no! How did we not get that?
Because he said it begins with an SC, not it was two separate words.
I got it.
SC.
I said I thought he meant initials because I was going sporty Cheech, but it's like I didn't even.
None of us got sweet chestnut.
No.
It's not like we haven't got hundreds of bloody chestnut trees here in Southend as well. Every street has got chestnut trees in it.
It's the first time I actually turned sweet chestnut. It was quite a joy to turn. I'm not going to lie.
I've never turned it. Is that conkers or not?
Yeah. And then you got horse chestnut, which is another one, nice one. It's very similar to sweet chestnut.
Sorry, Gary.
You don't get as many horse
more.
That's one of those 3 a.m. things, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'd get a text message at 3 a.m. telling us what we should have known.
Exactly. I'd love to be able to turn them. I love conkers, and I'd love to be able to turn them, but obviously they're just like the thing inside that it's just when you first crack them open. Oh, mate, the shine and that on them. It's like they've been done with friction polish. They're beautiful.
I wonder if you could drill a tiny hole and syringe some resin into it.
You might be able to.
But you still have that core bit inside, wouldn't you?
Which is mushy, isn't it?
I think it would probably rot. It's probably got moisture in it as well, I'd imagine.
Definitely, because they shrink down to nothing, don't they? And that comes out like the old ball bag in the end.
On the subject of people's nuts, how are your pistachio shelling going with your kilos of pistachio nuts?
Next project, I think that's going to be.
Nice.
So they're all shelled and dried.
Yeah, they're all shelled, washed and dried.
Unsalted.
All 4 kilos of them. It cost me a bloody fortune, that project.
Now you're putting 3D printed inserts into the vases and things. All those shells are going to go further. There's going to be a massive 2-foot vase. Go for a nice big 2-foot.
Oh, I think I'm going to do a bowl instead of. I haven't got that far yet. I thought I certainly had in mind when I was deshelling them that I'd make a bowl out of them. But who knows? We could.
He hasn't quite got there yet.
No, not really. No, I've got loads of projects pinned on the fridge. I just haven't got enough time to execute them all.
But you must have priority or the ones that really think, oh, I really want to do that one, and other ones that are just project filling.
Yeah, I do. But again, there's about 6 of them. I think that would be cool. I was supposed to do one for Valentine's Day, and I've all prepped for it, and I ain't got time to do it.
I've still got those 2 plates that have been poured but not done anything with yet. They're still sitting out there. That was finished.
Thrown that away yet? Or you're not talking about the boiled one?
No, that's up here. Hang on.
I told you, throw that out the car window on the way back from Wood Club.
Got home, and a couple of days later, James, my son, turns around to me. He goes, "What are you going to do with that?" Because I'd left it on the dining table, and he's gone, can I have it? James, I'm going to throw it away. He was like, no, I really like it. Can I have it? Right, okay. What do you want to do with it? Can you 3D print me some wall mounts and put it on my wall? Yeah, I'm god awful. Gary's actually seen it in the flesh, but
Yeah, so
I said throw it out the window on the way
I
home.
think you should try and save that and try and cast back into it.
no, James wants it. It's going up on his wall. I've got another one which has cured properly out in the workshop, so I'm not that upset by it. So it's one of those. But yeah, the other one of those is still sitting out there, and I did one similar, but with lots of Will doesn't do little things, but Garry will know when you've done a pen and things, you get left with the tiny little bit which you've cut off or you've held it in the chuck or whatever. And so that was the other one. I had
talking about pens. I've got loads of blanks for you boys.
Excellent. Well,
those Burl ones.
That's a nice little segue to an order that I had today. I was contacted by a lady who has just bought a crochet hook off of Garry. And she put it up on her Instagram and she liked it. And I liked the post she put up. She then obviously looked at what I did, followed me, and bought one of my crochet.
Yellow one. I don't remember doing a yellow one recently.
Shipped it to Blackpool.
Oh, it's purple, I think. How's that, Leanne?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
Purple.
Was it purple?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ordered a blue and pink one off of me. So she's starting a little collection of all of our crochet.
Oh, I actually sold something the other day. I went to South Carolina and the bloke messaged me today off YouTube and said, just to let you know, I got it and it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. And I thought, that's cool.
South Carolina.
Nice. How long did that take?
5 days, I guess. Probably did it.
Mine get it quick now. It's unreal.
I'm hoping old Trump doesn't start putting import duty on.
Good luck shipping to Europe.
The other day, wasn't he? Sorry?
Good luck shipping to Europe.
Yeah.
On to Norway the other day, and the guy, there's a woman actually, and messaged me and said, can you change the whatever it is, the CN22 to sort of reduce the cost because I'll get done for import tax and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, well, Etsy just does it automatically and prints it all. Yeah. And then I looked at it and I was going, well, I can cross it out. And then I went across it out and put it on there. And then it's got pre-filled in about sales of goods and all that rather than a gift. And it was like, yeah, in the end, I found a template for it and just printed one off fresh and just put gift, friends and family or whatever it is and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of it, sort of, she's got away with it. But it whacks on stuff from the off in some countries anyway on Etsy.
Well, Etsy came under fire because Northern Ireland is classified as the United Kingdom, and rightly so too, because it is a member of the United Kingdom. But because it's an open border with Ireland, the new European legislation that came in December, it's loads of fit for stuff and making sure that what you sell is actually going to do the job you say it's going to, and you've got to have the correct risk assessments and health and safety stuff. And one of it is that we're meant to have a representative in Europe to ship to Europe. So if there's an issue, they've got someone within the European Union to contact, because obviously we're not anymore. But we can't do that. Can't have a representative over there because it's incredibly difficult. But Etsy, where they classified Northern Ireland as part of the UK, it screwed up their shipping.
Yeah, okay.
Buggered the whole shipping. So a lot of people had to stop selling completely until Etsy had removed Northern Ireland from the United Kingdom so you could carry on posting.
Yeah, okay.
Got a Simon about it. And because he buys from Germany, because you get KS Laves from the Stratos and things, they all come from Germany. He's got in with Europe, so bigger companies aren't going to be affected, but it's us little companies that might have issues shipping to Europe.
Yeah, okay.
It's now easier to ship to America than it is to ship, as long as you don't tell America what the wood is that you're shipping over there. If you tell the Americans what the wood is, they say, no, don't want that one. Even if it's an American wood, if it's on the endangered species list, you're not meant to ship it over there. They're quite restrictive of what they want.
No, I never thought about that.
But yeah, it's all a bit complicated. I don't like it, but I don't really ship over there anyway. So I don't think it's going to affect me. I certainly don't do anything via Etsy anymore. So, but I know you, Garry, you do a hell of a lot with Etsy.
Yeah, all my stuff's through there, yeah.
So,
I ain't got websites. Yeah.
well, this is it. I mean, it saves you around with with a website.
Yeah. Defo.
Don't have to do all that messing around. So, but yeah, but I think I've not been. I've been out of the business, unfortunately. So I've not had to out there. I think I did not really worth note, but I've just been playing with colours when I was out there a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I think I showed that, didn't you?
I might have done. I can't remember.
Although you are now head honcho of Chelmers Valley.
Yeah, don't know what I let myself in for.
No, why? And that's what I was going to ask. Why have you let yourself in for?
It's a combination of things. Barry has done 3 terms of 3 years, so 9 years as chair at Chelmer Valley, and he wanted to step down. He said he didn't want to do it anymore, and there isn't anyone else stupid enough to take it on. And to be honest, I think the committee were in agreement. It needed someone younger, needed to a bit more technologically, with emails and the website and all of it. And yeah. Barry, he's no good at booking in people. He's not an events organizer. That's not his forte. That's what Louise used to do. So yeah, he stepped down. I took over. I've got to see 4 more demonstrators this year, and then that's the entire year sorted for demonstrators.
Oh, that's good.
We've got Simon in May. We've got Steve from March. Sorry. So we've got is it SK? ST? That's him. But yeah, I'm going to speak to the likes of Carolyn and perhaps that Tick Chalice. We've put that Tick Chalice. She did dragon. She was a dragon lady. Maybe we only had last year, so I might skip a year with her.
It was a lot alive, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, she doesn't be able to turn her. Next year in February, we've got Richard Finley, which will be good.
So wait.
It is, but that's the earliest date he could give me.
Yeah,
busy boy.
Yeah, it'd be a lot. Then he does all the big shows. I've got a Steve Radford. He said he'd demonstrate for us. Steve Crouchman, the guy who does our audio visual stuff, he's going to do one for us as well. It's me in February doing one. So, did I see your name down at Sandon? Giving it a go, Gary?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Excellent. What are you doing? I won't let you. I won't expect you to spill the beans, but
no,
because you weren't there when I did the demo the other week.
No, I was. Sorry, I didn't go. It's like every Saturday, so I do well to get down there when I can. I do go most of the time, to be honest, but now and again, might not be able to go this Saturday yet. I don't know. But
I missed.
Life gets in the way.
I was going to try and get down to see Tiny last week.
Good,
but took the we had. So,
oh yeah, how is the van?
The head's been rebuilt, so should get it back this week. But that's frustrating. And the Yaris 2 week, there was a knocking noise starting. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. So middle of last week, I was like, "Oh, what is that noise?" It's like driving me insane. Jacked up all 4 corners, checked the wheel bearings, checked the brakes, checked the wheels and the tyres. As you do, it's under warranty and everything, so you can't touch it. You can't do anything to it. It's got to go back to main dealer. So I couldn't see anything. There was nothing obvious. It didn't feel. So I think it's possibly the CV joints.
Yeah.
So on that one, but that can't be. That's not till February. The earliest we could get that in is the middle of February. So we currently driving around in the Rolls Royce more than we should. So, which was okay for the AGM because we had the Rolls Royce AGM yesterday. And it's fine for that, but the Tesco's in the Rolls Royce, it doesn't quite sit well. It's a big car. It takes up 2 parking spaces because of the length of the thing. And you obviously don't want to be parked next to anyone. So you deliberately take up 4 parking spaces with it. You're one of those people on the Weetabix advert that takes up more parking spaces than you should. But the beginning of this year has just been, it better not be an omen for the next 11 months, because I'm not sure I could cope with another 11 months, the same as I've had to do with January. It's just been a nightmare. Pretty ready to pack in some of it, I must admit. It's when you're not even a week in, 2 weeks in, and you lose one of the vehicles, the other vehicle starts having a problem. Turning, I am so behind. I've got none done. that I need to get done. I'm behind on a couple of orders. I've been trying to do some design. I've been asked a couple of years ago. I did some big hexagons, which hold tattoo ink for my tattooist down the road. And a friend of theirs messaged me and said, "Oh, you did such and such as tattoo shelves. Can you do me one?" Yes, the foam is a pain in the backside, but yes, I can. Can you make it look like a coffin? Now, coffins, there's 6 angles on a coffin. And if you change the length, you grow it lengthwise, all of the angles change. If you grow it widthwise, all of the angles change.
Yeah.
If you want the angles to stay the same, you have to grow all the proportions at the same time. And I don't have any of this fancy CNC design software stuff. I wouldn't know how to use it even if I did. And so I've been using graphics on my iPad. It's 3 weeks now. 8 minutes. And then I've got to build it.
Nightmare. I don't agree with that one.
I might go and speak to Stibbard's group and see if they'd make me the coffin bit for me. Find out who makes their coffins for them. Because it doesn't need to be very big. It needs to hold 60, I think she said 65 tattoo inks. So it's only going to be...
The little pots.
They're like they're like little tester pot. Well, like the spirit stain tester pots that you get from Chestnut. They're about that sort of size. They need a 30mm hole.
That's bigger than I thought.
But you can't drill foam with a toothed saw because it grabs. So the first time we tried to drill holes in foam, it caught itself up and nearly broke my wrist because on the pillar drill, it snagged and the foam, the ones down the road, they're about 18 inches in diameter. So they're big lumps of foam, although they're not very thick. And I'd bought this brand new 30mm hole saw that fits the Bosch kit that I use. And then I had to take it to my bench grinder, cut the teeth off it. So you use a silicone spray. Luckily, I didn't have to cut it to size. There's plenty of foam places that do foam cut to size, but they don't sit there and drill all the holes in for you. So I think that's going to take me at least a week to make that. I'm not a carpenter, but
well, at least it's not you're missing the weather, if you see what I mean. Good time to have off.
And I have heating, you see, and I've got insulation and double glazing, so my workshop's not cold.
Oh yeah, no excuses then.
No,
Yours heated, Garry.
One of those oil sort of like a heater thing, like a radiator essentially, and it does the job. It heats up pretty. You can heat up pretty quick. It's got different settings on it. So, funny enough, I left it on low when I was down there before we done this, so it'll be nice and warm and do a bit of resin when I get down there in a minute. So. Yeah, it's not too grim. But the thing is, because once it heats up as well, because I've got all the insulation in now, I can, if I know I'm only going to be in there for another hour or 2 hours even, I could probably turn it off and it'll hold it. And I just happen to I've got one of those digital clock thing, and I wanted something with great big numbers because my eyes are so crap. And the one I got off Amazon happened to be one of those ones that tells you what day, month, but the temperature as well. And it's actually really handy because I can see, bloody hell, I go in there, it's 8 degrees. And then it might be up to 14 or something. I've got that thing on, so it's fine.
I set all mine up with a thermostat, so it's digital thermostat. So when it hits 15 degrees, 16 degrees, it shuts itself off. And it's not a hive, but it's like a hive timer system. So I've got it on, so at night it will kick in if the temperature drops below 10 degrees. And it's an infrared heater. It's only about 600 watt. It's not very powerful. But it does the job. Lovely. It's nice in there. You need a heater, Will.
I do need a heat. Well, I've been using my blowtorch.
On your fingers?
It's not really a blowtorch. It's a glue gun. It's a heat gun. But I've been wedging that on the...
That's a job.
Wedging that on the bench.
Rolling around on the bench next to it.
Yeah. How that place hasn't been caught. How I haven't caught fire to that place yet, I'll never know.
I was grinding something with my grinder yesterday, using a cutting wheel thing, and I was very conscious of like all the sparks flying everywhere. I was thinking, I need to. What's the best way? Oh, I know. Just stand in front of it and let it just. And then it can't go anywhere.
Your best option was stand in front of it, not take it outside. You didn't think, let's go outside with it. No.
It wasn't going to take that long. So
all right.
I was just cutting through some threaded rod, so I thought it won't take long. There you go.
That threaded rod can be quite hard at times.
Oh, it was all right as it goes. It was only 10mm, so
I've had to repair a knife handle. One of my friends, she snapped. I can only assume she put it in the dishwasher because she put my ice cream scoop and pizza cutter that I gave her for Christmas a couple of years back in the dishwasher, and I've had to repair them as well. And I couldn't drill through that knife. I was going to put some nice big, I've got some brass rod, and I was going to put a couple of nice brass and make them look like rivets. And I could not drill through that knife handle. Just couldn't do it. I've got not carbide, I've got hole bolt drill bits, and they didn't do it.
You can always temper it.
What, the drill bit?
No, the end of your knife.
I don't need to. Well, too late now. I didn't bother with it and just stuck a handle with some epoxy. It's not a round handle either. It's a proper knife handle. But so I have done a few things, just not wood turning. So
Right, I've got my move.
you're going to go out in the workshop?
Yep.
What's on the lathe then? Just quick.
Well, I'm finishing off my Oki. That is what I'm doing threaded rods for. So for my dartboard. And yeah, I'm doing a little bowl for someone. Zebrano. Had a bit of that floating about. So
Zebrano.
yeah, nice, isn't it?
Cuts nice.
This is very old and dry, so I don't know. I'll have to see how it comes out. But
Dusty.
right.
Well,
all right.
by the time this goes out, we'll speak to you next time. Cheers, guys.
Catch you
See ya.
later.
Bye.
Bye.